program in prime time, and he said, this is one of the biggest scoops that ABC has ever had. And he told about the National Reconnaissance Organization. The exact same thing that I published 8 years earlier. I tell you this
The
to
Cyberlink
say
Ray
so
will
that you'll
destroy.
understand I do have some experience.
He's not.
And that I know
They say well enough.
of which I speak.
Here's what he's doing. He's not just making a claim. He's planting a marker in time. 1986. He says the name of the organization before the claims this place don't exist. So once you understand that layer exists, intelligence suggests lies. Its visibility. It's who gets to see the world first. Second. And if a system like that sits above the usual. For any of the aliens humanoid enough to actually mate with actual humans and create mixed human-alien offspring?
I doubt it. There are some species, there's one species in particular that would look like first cousins, but what I know about embryology and reproduction, I'm not so sure that that would be possible without it being done artificially. Now, I mean, obviously, with CRISPR and with cloning and other technologies, you can do some things. But in terms of, let's just call it normal reproduction, I doubt that. Very seriously.
Well, right. I mean, you need to really be alive in terms of your DNA to create offspring. So, for example, a donkey and a horse can have sex, but they'll create a human, right? Not recreate itself, right? But they can actually create a mutant. They can create a genetic offspring that's a mix between the two. It just can't reproduce. So,
Yeah, so this gets into this whole question of have these sort of experiments been done in classified projects, and the answer is yes. And so there's some rather monstrous programs that would make Mingala, and I know about them, and I know people who work it. So have there been some of these things done by humans, not by the ETs? Yes. And, you get into some very strange life forms, it's called, that are both partially human, partially extraterrestrial, as a result of these programs. I know there's one that was operational out in Dugway, proving grounds in Utah, and was there. Scientifically, there's no reason why a bunch of mad scientists and programs with what they have couldn't do it. My problem is to what end and under what ethical community. But also, could these objects, these sort of life forms, be used again in a deceptive operation? False flag, yes. So this is one of the big problems, is that it's just like a stinking onion. You pull this back, it's one layer after another. You think you've gotten to the center of it, there are 30 more layers.
Financial documentation would remain outside the scope of any future Canadian federal disclosure process. In plain language, someone close to Carney was allegedly negotiating to keep evidence quiet. And according to the Judiciary Committee sources, that negotiation was partially successful until now. The implications of this are staggering because they don't just touch Carney personally. They implicate the entire apparatus that brought him to power. The Liberal Party of Canada ran its entire 2025 election campaign on the platform of transparency, sovereignty, and resistance to foreign economic pressure. Carney himself looked into cameras across the country and told voters that he had no hidden allegiances, no conflicting interests, no secret deals. If the Project Maple files are authentic, every single one of those statements becomes not just a lie, but a documented, prosecutable misrepresentation made to an entire nation during a federal election. And in Canadian law, that carries consequences that go far beyond losing an election. But the most chilling detail in everything that has leaked so far isn't the money. It isn't the shell companies. It isn't even the encrypted communications. It is a single handwritten annotation reportedly found on the cover page of the Project Maple folder in ink, not typed, not printed, apparently written by someone who had physical access to the file before it entered federal custody. The annotation reads simply, "He knows we have this." 3 words. But in the context of everything surrounding them, those 3 words suggest that this scandal is not a discovery. It is a detonation that was deliberately scheduled. Someone held this information, waiting for the precise moment of maximum political impact, and then lit the fuse. And the question that should be keeping Mark Carney awake in Rio Cottage tonight is not whether the documents are real. The question is, who decided that right now, in the 48th hour of his majority government, was the perfect moment to let them out? And what exactly are they expecting him to do next? The moment the Project Maple files entered the conversation inside the House Judiciary Committee, something unusual happened. The standard procedural machinery of Washington, the press briefings, the formal statements, the carefully worded denials, all of it ground to a halt. No one spoke on record. No one issued a clarification. The committee members who had seen the documents went quiet, with the kind of silence that in Washington doesn't mean there is nothing to say. It means there is too much. And in that vacuum of official response, the secondary explosions began. Because Project Maple was never just one file. It was a nested architecture of interlocking revelations. And the deeper investigators went, the worse the picture became. The second layer of the Project Maple documents focuses on something that has received almost no attention in mainstream coverage, but is arguably more damaging.
Round 1, fight!
Smell of desperation.
Round 2, fight! Final round, fight!